2016 Chevrolet 3500 Crew Cab Duramax. We're going to change some tires on it today. We have a set of summer tires here. The winter tires are on the vehicle. I do plow with this vehicle, so I have a separate set of tires and wheels for them so that these only go on in the summertime. There is some pretty good tread left on them, and you notice I already have them marked. I use a system to balance these tires. It's a road force balancer. What a road force balancer allows us to do is we can take some vibration out of the vehicle. We get a really accurate balance. The other thing it'll do is we can measure how much pull the wheels have. So we'll set them up on a machine. We label them as we are balancing them. Then our computer on the machine will actually detect how much pull is going one way or the other, and it tries to match the tires to the front of the vehicle to create the least amount of pull, or with a little bit of pull left to compensate a little bit for road crown. So sometimes on a pickup truck you may wear your backs a little more than the front, or we wear the backs a little bit square. Sometimes you may want to put the set on, see what it comes up with, and then try to get the ones that you want on the front, back on the front, to try to get them to wear a little bit more square in that process. But we're always looking for the least amount of vibration in front. We try to put the most vibrating tire out back, furthest away from us, so that we don't actually feel that. The Michelins do balance up very well. For a light truck tire, they do a good job, and we balance them. We do what's called a dynamic balance on them. So we're going to get started. I'll jack the vehicle up. We'll take a peek underneath it, and we'll see what we can do. Underneath the vehicle, I have our floor jack right there. I have a piece of steel underneath it because we are on blacktop. I have a safety stand set here. We're going to put this up in the air after we get the vehicle in the air to help us keep the vehicle from coming down. Safety stand, jack stand, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to jack up underneath the lower control arm, and then we're just going to lift this jack a little bit to support it, and then we'll remove the vehicle's wheel. At this point, we're just removing the nuts that hold the cover on, little plastic nuts that are on there. They're plastic. I don't suggest using an air tool. You'll probably break something. These were a little bit long. I don't think they were the exact caps for this vehicle, but it's worked out. covers off, get it set up with our electric impact, pull off the lug nuts, and see what we can do about getting the other wheel on. So we're going to hook up our electric impact, put our socket on. Take our old lug nuts off when a new wheel goes on, or actually the original wheel. This is an aftermarket wheel that I bought, and the tires, I got the tires from Treadrite. They've been very good for plowing. A little bit rough on the road. They don't balance as nice. They're not a real quiet tire, but for plowing it has been an excellent tire. You see, when I start pulling these off, I kind of have a tendency to back off quickly. If you roll this on that edge with this in reverse, you'll destroy these threads and you won't get a lug nut back on that. You'll have to replace the stud and the lug nut. So you'll see as I do this, I'm very quickly pulling them off. Worked with students for a while. I'm always the guy left at the end of the day that has to go get the other teacher new studs and lug nuts for their vehicle before they can leave, because a couple of them have been destroyed. So try to back away as they're coming off. And they're not light. And our new wheel's going back on. We have our left front, tire number 2. The only thing being that this is a little bit better on the hub. I'm going to clean this hub just a little bit while I'm here. Make sure that wheel actually goes on there. Being that this is not aftermarket, it's actually the GM wheel, it does fit a lot better. And we're going to look at some pads. They look good. Alright, here we go. Okay. For some new ones, I like to start them by hand. The actual lug nuts that came with the vehicle to put this back on. When you buy the aftermarket, usually you're going to be buying new lug nuts also. That's what I did. Make sure it's completely on the hub. I'm going to bring them in with the impact. doing is just snugging them up, making sure they're all snug against it. Hold my jack stand, lower it down. We're going to torque this in a crisscross pattern. We'll start going around the wheel. Then I like to go around once and check. Some people say every time you check, you tighten it more. Could be over torque. They are lug nuts. Not a rocket ship here or anything, so they do have to be tight though. 140 on this is almost double what some passenger cars have. So a lot of Hondas run only 80 foot-pounds for torque on their lug nuts. This is running 140. So it really is worth using a torque wrench to make sure that you are getting them tight enough. And you also want to be able to get them off again someday, so you don't want to destroy that for somebody. You'll see they're getting a little bit of a turn, so I didn't over torque them already. And 8. I always take one more trip around just in case I missed one. A lot of people say you do the star, that's it, forget it. I go with the one more trip around. More times than not, when I'm with my students in school, they miss one or they'll miss 2. Okay, 140 foot-pounds is on there. We should be set to go with this. We're going to do the rest of the 4 wheels. You'll notice that when I'm using the torque wrench, I'm pressing down. It's not a jerking motion. It's mostly just putting my weight on it until I actually get that to click. So, for example, that's how we get that to go. No bouncing, because you're going to get there either too fast or you're going to put too much torque on it. So we'll do the rest of these, and we should be all set with this job. Thanks for watching.